What do you get when you combine approximately 1,400 stores, over 300 new releases, and thousands upon thousands of music enthusiasts? Of course, you get the high holiday of the music collector, Record Store Day. And we're here on location today outside Music Connection in Manchester, New Hampshire to celebrate. Get set to hit that play button because this video is going vinyl. Hello and welcome to Goin Vinyl, the program that brings you the tracks and stacks that take us all back. I'm your host, Bill Robert, and today it's our special Record Store Day edition. We're here April 12th, 2025. We are shooting on location outside Music Connection in Manchester, New Hampshire. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Record Store Day, it was basically started in 2007 in order to, as the founders would put it, quote unquote, to celebrate the culture of independently operated record stores. That's what we're doing today here. We're doing it, and every year, basically since it started in 2007, Record Store Day has been a time to get together, and right now we're in line, we're talking about our favorite records and things like that. But also every year, there are new releases that are exclusive for Record Store Day, and you can't get them online today. The only way you can get these records is to get down to a record store like we've got here and buy these records. So at some point today, we'll talk to some of the folks in line here, and also we'll take a look at some of the things that we picked up on this edition of Record Store Day. The excitement usually starts with the announcement of the date in January. It's normally the third Saturday in April. This year it got moved up a week to avoid any conflicts with bank holidays in many countries. About a month before the actual day, the list of available releases, called RSD drops, is posted on the Record Store Day website. These releases come in many forms: LPs, double LPs, EPs, 7 and 12-inch singles, even CDs, and special 3-inch singles that play on special mini turntables. These RSD drops cover a multitude of musical disciplines, not just rock and hip-hop. Many jazz, classical, folk, and reggae releases are also dropped on this day. Now, last year when we did our Record Store Day thing, there was a line early in the morning when we got to Music Connection, and there were still lines in the middle of the day as we made our way to another local record store. This year, we got off to an earlier start, and not only did the lines already start, but so did the snow. So today we're here for Record Store Day, or I guess you could call it Record Snowfall Day. So we got in line, got our number, and let them know what we wanted.
Big one for me is Dada Puzzle. Honestly, that's the reason why I came out. Everything else is just is candy. Geddy Lee, Top Secret. We were talking about that. You know, so maybe Sting. I think I had Thievery Corporation. So fingers crossed.
It's going to be a variety, some Fleetwood Mac, Little Richard, Gorillaz, Craig Mack, a lot of titles, a lot of genres.
I'm looking for the Fleetwood Mac one, the Leve. I'm also interested, there's this live concert one for this artist Biba Doobie in London. I thought that one seemed cool. A lot of great titles this year.
Well, we're here in the corner. They've taken our orders, and we're number 32 here. And really, there goes Gavin right now from Music Connection. And really hearty crowd here. It's snowing, and it's actually accumulating pretty well. It's getting pretty slushy out here, but everyone's in line. They're waiting, and they're ready for their grabs, basically, their finds for Record Store Day 2025, including us. And we'll go in a few minutes, and we'll show you what we got. And one of the coolest things about the day is that while standing in line waiting for the store to open, you get to talk to your fellow music fans, swapping stories and making new friends.
I have a pressing of Vapor Trails by Rush that I got for stupid money.
I've got a 1979 version of the Cars Candio that is still sealed. I'll probably never open.
And I just started hearing them call number one. So the record store is going to be open in a few minutes. We're going to go in and we're going to get our stuff for Record Store Day.
8 a.m. rolled around. It was showtime. Customers were called in by number, a few at a time. All we had to do was wait our turn.
In we go. And this is Record Store Day. Records, oh, and by the way, hi-fi gear too. So lots of fun to be had. I'm 32. I'm 32.
Sorry.
That's okay. 32. Here we go. Oh.
And then you'll just loop around through the middle. There's
Okay,
stuff
cool.
already.
Free stuff. Ooh. So here we go. So Tom Waits 7-inch. Then we've got the Top Secret soundtrack. This was like my holy grail for Record Store Day. This is the one I really wanted. I really wanted it anyway, but apparently, obviously with what happened with Val Kilmer, even more so. And then the Thompson Twins, Into the Gap Live. Some good stuff. And got all I was looking for here on Record Store Day. Get some posters and some swag. And the cool thing is actually a couple of the Vince Guaraldi Peanuts albums, so nice job with Linus and Snoopy there, doing some stuff. What else do we have here? Oh, yes, absolutely. Blue Note pin. A big jazz guy, so that's cool. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Blue Note balloons, yes. All right, here we go. Let me separate the records from the swag.
Sure.
Here you go.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
There you go there. Thank you very much.
All right.
It was a pleasure.
Okay, you too. Thanks, Madison. You take care.
1598. 1598? Got it? Got it?
39.98. These are the first I think I've seen. Top Secret.
And Tom Waits, yeah. We haven't had a 1598 yet. 88.94 there, Bob.
88.94. Double digits. My wife will be delighted. All right. You take care. Thanks, Gavin. Thanks. So.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
So, stop one of Record Store Day, an absolute success. And coming up, we'll take a look at what we picked up today when we go back to the Goin Vinyl studio. And indeed, here we are now in the Goin Vinyl studio, and we're going to take a look at the items we got today. Not our usual haul. Usually we wind up getting a few more things, but we try to keep things on a budget today. And since we're doing 3 records normally per episode, I figured 3 would be good, so that way we could do it all in the episode, keep everything under control. As you can obviously tell from what I said in the footage from the record store when I said double digits. Yeah, my wife will be delighted. Yeah, normally it's a triple digit day for Record Store Day, but I tried not to do that this year, so you're welcome, honey. But anyway, let's get to the albums right now. I mentioned them already. You saw me in the record store, but let's take a look at them right now. And we'll start with this one here. This is the first of the 3 records we got here, and it's called Into the Gap Live from the Thompson Twins. But before we get into the Gap Live, let's get into the inner groove. Thompson Twins, Into the Gap Live, released obviously April 12th, 2025 on Record Store Day, released by BMG Records. And on the record, first of all, let's get to the main personnel here, the main members of the Thompson Twins. Tom Bailey on vocals, guitar, and percussion. Alana Curry provided vocals and also percussion. Now, Joe Leeway, but here he's doing synth and percussion as well as vocals. Bass is actually being handled by Mark Hayward Chaplin. Synth, it's Roger O'Donnell and Carolina Booth Cliburn. And Boris Bransby Williams is doing drums. Lots of hyphens in this group here. It was recorded live at the Del Mar Racetrack in Del Mar, California on the 30th of September, 1984. Now, the Thompson Twins had a huge album called Into the Gap. Some of their biggest hits, Doctor, Doctor, You Take Me Up, Hold Me Now. I mean, some great songs from that album. And this is basically along that tour. This was recorded September of 1984 at the Del Mar Racetrack in Del Mar, California. Now, one of the things about RSD drops you might notice is the fact that normally, if you've ever been to a Record Store Day or if you've gone to the Record Store Day website, a lot of these quote-unquote RSD drops do have some pretty impressive packaging, and we'll start with this one here. Now, the interesting thing is, this here, it's a double album, but there's no gatefold. It's just a single jacket. But what we'll do is we'll pull out the 2 records, and first of all, we will pull out the first record here. So you see really nice work on the inner sleeves there, and here, and here, and you get your album credits here. Now, which is this side C and D or side A and B? Let's see here. This is this is side A. Okay, so this is side A. So side A, Into the Gap Live. Okay, first of all, it's a yellow vinyl, but check out the label too. The label's pretty cool there. And then if you flip it over, you get a little global action going on there. Just a little bit of the globe there, and you see that there. And this is on that colored vinyl. So you have that, and here. So we'll toss this on just a little bit first. Let's get to the other record here. So this is side C and side D. Now side C, this is Joe Leeway making a quote, recalling how they were treated in the early days, and they weren't treated really very well. And this is taken from something he had said. Now in the back, the interesting thing is, if this is about people not liking the Thompson Twins, well, this is about the people that like them, because this is basically a merch catalog. So it's like, first of all, let's buy this special RSD drop, and then also we'll hit you up for like T-shirts and banners and other things too. So this is a true find for Thompson Twins fans everywhere. And once again,
It's another kind of roll of vinyl here. It's blue vinyl, and this is the side C. Whoa! Oh, that would have been bad. That would have been very bad. Luckily, we caught it in time. But anyway, so this is C, side C, and side D. And once again, you have the little globe there, as far as going there. So really, some nice packaging. In addition to that, you've got the nice front cover and the nice back cover, and there's the whole globe thing again there. But so this is Into the Gap Live. So what we're going to do first, before we do anything, is let's get to side B. Actually, we're going to go to side B. Side A, it starts with an intro and then the Gap Day After Day, and watch it. We're going to go to side B to start because one of the big hits out that album, you get the live version for right now, is called You Take Me Up. Little bit of a listen there. The infectious Thompson Twins musical style is just right in there. The fans are really enjoying it, and there we go. So that's the first song that we're doing off of Into the Gap Live. It's the hit You Take Me Up. Now, speaking of Thompson Twins hits, this could be the favorite of a lot of people. It's one of the most beautiful songs they've ever done. You know what I'm going to here. It is the live version of Hold Me Now. As I mentioned, this is one of the most beloved Thompson Twins songs ever, and you can tell that from the reaction. I mean, one of the things you get, obviously, with a live album is the fact that you hear the crowd reacting anytime they hear a song come up. And sometimes it'll be good, but you'll hear the reaction at the end. But this one here, Hold Me Now, first of all, it's got the that very distinctive first start, the brum, bum, and as soon as that comes in, the crowd just goes nuts. They just lose it. So obviously, people are really looking forward to that song. And it was once again a great hit, one of their biggest hits ever, Hold Me Now, off the Into the Gap album. Now you notice the color vinyl has changed. Yes, we're going to sides C and D now. And what we're going to do is, now this is Into the Gap Live, and of course a lot of the stuff from the Into the Gap album is on here, but it's not exclusively Into the Gap. There are other albums that the Thompson Twins had too, obviously. There was their earlier effort, In the Name of Love. And then there was the album that was called Quick Step and Sidekick, but when they released it over here in the U.S. and also up in Canada, it was just called Sidekicks. And what we're going to do now is go to a track from that first album, well, not the first album, but the first album that I mentioned here. In the Name of Love, obviously, this is the title track, In the Name of Love.
True, all of the things that they say about you. Tell me, what am I supposed to do? In the name of love, yeah, in the name of love.
The Thompson Twins with In the Name of Love. Now, it wasn't a huge hit here as far as the charts go, but from what I understand, this actually was pretty popular in the dance club scene at the time. So that's one of the ones. And so they had this album, In the Name of Love, and then after that, it came out with Sidekick. So it was here, Quick Step and Sidekick over in the UK. And they had a couple of hits. Love on Your Side was one of them, and the other one was called Lies. You probably know that one. Lies, 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 yeah. Well, we're going to listen to it live, 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 yeah. This might be my favorite song of theirs. I mean, I know I've mentioned already, I'm pretty fond of Hold Me Now. It's just such a beautiful song, but I don't know. Lies just it just kind of gets me going. I love it from the beginning. I mean, especially just a brum, 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 bam, bam, bam. It comes in, and it is so great, and I love that song. So we've gone there. Now, side D, we mentioned another big hit off Into the Gap was a song called Dr. Doctor, and actually, we're going to skip that one, too. So you have Dr. Doctor, and then you have Kamikaze, and then the last track on the album, this was the other song I mentioned from the Sidekicks album, Love on Your Side. So these live clips basically explain why so many people like the Thompson Twins. They were a fun band on record, and by the sound of this, obviously, they were pretty fun live too. So that's our look at Into the Gap Live, our first Record Store Day release that we're looking at today from Thompson Twins. Now, a cool thing about Record Store Day is that it brings in collectors old and new, and people talking about things and giving tips, and people, like young people telling older people, oh, check out this album, and the older people, oh, you got to check out this album. So a lot of sharing information, a lot of camaraderie in between the people standing in line waiting for the record store to open. And in fact, we talked to some of the folks in line about that.
Cool. What do you like the most about Record Store Day?
I just love the community of it. I love the exclusivity. I love the neat stuff that comes out. Several years ago, I got a great picture disc that was a Rush Record Store Day that I guess nobody wanted, so I picked it up. So yeah, it's always fun to find cool stuff.
It's going to probably be a theme, but the community, the exclusivity. I mean, really supporting physical media as in a digital world. We lose a lot of the romance with cover art and, really opening up and seeing some more of the art than just the audio.
Definitely like talking to other people that like records. I mean, it's great to just chat and find out other people's music tastes. It's crazy how much like every different genre there is, and everyone has their own thing they're looking for.
So there's a lot to like about Record Store Day. Personally, I'm a big fan. I really approach it in a way where, once I find out the date, I get my friends together, we start emails, and I basically book out an itinerary for the day. We start at this store, see if we can get our stuff. If not, then we go to another store, and sometimes it'll be like 2 or 3 different stores. We'll go hopping during the day, and in between that, we'll have we'll first of all get up in line early in the morning, and once the store opens at 8, we go in, get our stuff. By the time that's done, it's usually like between 8:30 and 9. We bop out to a local place, get some breakfast, then either head back to Music Connection or head to another store, do another little thing of shopping there, and also picking up some stuff that perhaps we didn't find in the other store, and then go from there, have some lunch, and then maybe go to another store, or just hang out at the restaurant and talk about the finds and what we got for the day. So it's something that I'm big on, but some people do chafe when you do mention Record Store Day to them. Some people say, oh, it's too corporate. Corporate has really gotten it used to be mom and pop, and now it's, corporate people have really taken it over. The other criticism, which I actually take more heat and more stock in, actually, is the fact that some of the people that are in line there, they're not there to collect records. They're not avid record collectors. They're basically secondary merchants, and their goal is to get these exclusive items, turn around and see if they can get exorbitant amounts of money for them on eBay. Those I'm not a big fan of. And there are a lot of stores where they know what's going on, and they try to limit people. If someone says, oh, I want 2 or 3 copies of this, they're like, nope, sorry, we don't want you gouging people on the secondary market. So there's a limit of 1 per release per customer, which is nice. It's a good way to go about it. So that's some of the ways that you can handle that problem. But anyway, I've kind of gone off the rails with that because I am Tangent Man after all. So let's go to our second release now. And this one here, it's actually a 7-inch single, and it's called Get Behind the Mule by Tom Waits. And quickly, before we get to the actual record itself, let's get behind the inner groove. Tom Waits, the single version of Get Behind the Mule, released April 12th, 2025. Once again, Record Store Day. Now, the personnel for the record on side 1 is literally Tom Waits. He's playing a Wurlitzer organ and singing, and that's about it. So side 1 is a very sparse version of this particular song. On side 2, he's got the whole band with him there because this is basically the version that is on the album Mule Variations. It's Tom Waits on vocals, Stephen Hodges on percussion. Here's a great name on guitar, Smokey Hormel. That's it, Smokey Hormel. Makes me want to go out in the backyard right now, fire up the grill, and get some Spam going there. On bass, it's Larry Taylor, and on harp, it's Charlie Musselwhite. It was produced by Tom Waits and his wife, Kathleen Brennan, and it was released on Anti Records. So what we're going to do here is give you a taste of side 1, which is, as I mentioned in the inner groove, the sparse spiritual version. It's basically just Tom and his Wurlitzer organ. And then we'll give you a little taste of side 2, in which he has the full band, and it's the version that was on the Mule Variations album. We're going to start. This is side A, Get Behind the Mule, the spiritual version.
Big Jack was 8'1", he stood in the road and he cried. Couldn't make her love him, couldn't make her stay, but tell the good Lord that he tried. Had to get behind the mule in the morning and plow.
So there we go. You can see what I mean. There's a very sparse arrangement there and a slower version of the song Get Behind the Mule. Now, I was talking before about we'll give you a taste of this side and we'll give you a taste of this side. I'm going, obviously, Tom Waits is an acquired taste. He's not everybody's cup of tea. Personally, I love the guy. I've been a fan of his for decades, but some people just can't get past the voice. But here's the thing to keep in mind. One of the reasons I love Tom Waits is the fact that he can write a song, he can tell a story, he has a way with lyrics. He's got a song from his Swordfish Trombones album called Shore Leave. It was basically done from the point of view of someone who's either in the Navy or the Merchant Marine or someone, but they're on shore leave somewhere in Asia, and they're missing their girl who's far away, I think in Illinois. And so at one point, it's such a great line, as the sailor looks up in his Asian destination, looks up and sees the moon, and he says something like, and I wonder how the same moon over this Chinatown fair can look down on Illinois and find you there. It's such a great line. I love the lyric. And if you listen to it, I mean, the guy can tell a story. If you go back like early in his career, songs like Please Call Me Baby off of The Heart of Saturday Night, things like that. It's just really beautiful storytelling, and he can tell a story. He can put a lyric together. And he can obviously put a band together too, because here he is with the rest of his guys on side 2 of this one. This is, once again, Get Behind the Mule. This is the album version as heard on the Mule Variations album. So here we go. Once again, Tom Waits, side 2 of the special Record Store Day release.
Big Jack girl was 8'1", and he stood in the road and he cried. He couldn't make her love him, he couldn't make her stay. Tell the good Lord that he tried, got to get behind the mule, yeah. The morning plow, get behind the mule.
And see there, a little more pep in the step, a little more there, and that's what was on the album. And once again, if you're curious, check him out. He's not for everybody, but if you like good songwriting, if you like good lyrics, he just might do it for you. That is our second record, the special 7-inch release of Get Behind the Mule from Tom Waits on Anti Records. And before we get to record number 3, I'm just going to do a little thing real quick. People of different levels of experience and different interests always come to Record Store Day, and we share some great stories in line and go over and chat about some great stuff.
How long have you been coming to Record Store Day?
This is my second one, so I started out last year at Music Connection too. Cool. Thought it was great.
What'd you get?
I got the Noah Kahan ones last year.
So it'll be my 4th time with Music Connection, a little over 5 years in total.
This is actually my first one. Yeah, I always go after the fact and pick it up, whatever bin happens to be. So this is my first excursion out. Nice snowy day.
How long have you been actively collecting?
I think 2.5 years now. My parents, they had their vinyl collection that we kind of listened to as kids, but I started my own 2.5 years now.
A little over 10 years, I would say. Started with CDs, saw a resurgence in vinyl. Again, going back to the cover art thing, seeing that 12-inch gatefold really, blows up the picture, the idea.
Welcome to the family.
Yes, sir.
How old am I? My whole life, honestly. The past 45 years. Grew up with them, so.
And now we get to record 3 of our special Record Store Day edition of Goin' Vinyl. And this was the one, you heard me bring this up on the record store, this was the one I wanted most of all above anything else. This is the one I had to have. It's the soundtrack from the film Top Secret. And it's got an interesting mix of things because I don't know if you've ever seen this movie. If you haven't, it's a spoof, much like Airplane spoofed disaster movies, Hot Shots spoofed movies like Top Gun. This one here was an odd thing because this is actually spoofing a couple of different genres and melding them together. It's basically what would happen if a World War II espionage film crossed paths with an Elvis Presley movie. It's crazy. It's top secret, and something I'll tell you that we're not keeping top secret, the Inner Groove. The original soundtrack for the film Top Secret, released on April 12th, 2025 on Record Store Day, put out by Rusted Wave Records and 1984 Publishing. Paramount Pictures has their logo in here too. Now the interesting thing about this album is side 1 is basically all the songs that were sung by the lead character Nick Rivers, who was not only played by Val Kilmer. Now Nick Rivers was not only played by Val Kilmer, Nick Rivers was sung by Val Kilmer. No dubbing, no extra voices. It's all Val Kilmer, and that's a side A. Basically, side A is all the stuff that Val Kilmer sang. Meanwhile, side B, as it's listed here, score selections by Maurice Jarre. Now, Maurice Jarre was the composer they had do the film score here. And the thing about him is, if you're not familiar with Maurice Jarre, you should be, because he is all over the place when it comes to classic films. Case in point, going back to, let's see, 1962, he did the score for the film The Longest Day. In 1962, he not only did Lawrence of Arabia, he won an Oscar for it. As he's going through here, Dr. Zhivago, once again, didn't just do the score. He won an Oscar for that. And even with all these accolades, he still comes and does this movie. It's just another job, and he comes in and does a nice job on the score for this movie by Zucker Abrahams Zucker. So here it is, Top Secret, the original soundtrack. Now, one of the things you'll notice is this is indeed a single album set, but there's a gatefold. And it's basically scenes from the movie, which is very cool. Now, one of the things you'll see here, the fact that, where's the picture right here? Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer looks extremely young, but in case you don't know this, Top Secret was Val Kilmer's first ever movie. So he starred in this movie. He was very good. I mean, most of the things you think about Val Kilmer, you think, oh, he's Iceman, he's Batman. He's doing a lot of really heavy, serious stuff. And he was known as being pretty intense. But he could also handle comedy brilliantly. He is fantastic in this film. And once again, he not only handled the acting, he did the singing too. There's no one, no voices, no one like Kathy Selden in Singing in the Rain. No, he did his own stuff, and it was great. Now, the other thing you'll notice here is this guy right here. That's Omar Sharif. Omar Sharif, at the time, and obviously is a very famous actor, but an actor with stature, gravitas, like an Olivier type of guy. And here he is, and this is just a prank where he has a loaded cigar blow up in his face. He actually has multiple practical jokes played on him. He just goes right through it, including the part right here where he's crushed into the body of a car. So as far as the stuff that's going on here, there's a lot in the movie. And also there's a shot of Val Kilmer on the back here doing his dancing. I mentioned his singing, I mentioned his acting. Does a pretty good job dancing too. So anyway, we'll get to this now. This is a Top Secret. You're going to have, first of all, the insert. This is cool because you've got Top Secret here and you've got the credits, but also on the front here, you've actually got Zucker, Abrahams, and Zucker right here. So this is, these are the guys. When I was in my earlier days, doing writing comedy for radio and things like that, these are the guys I dreamed I could ever get a chance to work with. Jerry Zucker, David Zucker, and of course Jim Abrahams, who passed away this year, unfortunately. But these were the guys, Zucker, Abraham, Zucker, or Zaz, as they were known at the time. So now this is a clear, it's not only, by the way, a clear sleeve, but it also, as it says here, extra Top Secret clear vinyl. I can see myself in the camera viewfinder. So the first here, you've got, once again, a shot of Val Kilmer dancing. And on the back, you've got the visual joke on the face of the character Sven Jorgensen, who's played by Peter Cushing, who we all know from the Hammer horror movies, and also many know him as a Grand Moff Tarkin from the original Star Wars movie. So it's quite a package there. Once again, they've done a terrific job, and I love when someone goes into doing all these extra things and not just cranking out something just to crank it out. This shows a lot of real appreciation for the source material. So what we're going to do now is start listening to the album, and we're going to get to cut number one. Now this one, if you listen to it, it's not like a Weird Al song parody. It's more of a satire than a parody, because with Weird Al he uses the melody of the original song. Here they're not doing the actual melody. It's more evocative of the source material than actually like a direct copy. But this first one especially, which winds up being the opening title of the film, sounds like basically it's a Brian Wilson combo platter. This one's called Skeet Surfing.
Tell the teacher we're shooting, we're never coming back. I've got a gun rack in my Chevy for when the surf and the flak gets heavy. And we'll have fun with our guns till our lifeguard takes our ammo away. First wave, don't get excited. Second wave, aim high.
It's funny when you look at this spinning with all the grooves and everything. It's got that optical illusion thing. Woo! It's like if you drive past a hurricane fence at high speed and like, whee! And kind of gives you that optical illusion. That's pretty funny. But I mentioned the Brian Wilson combo platter just to give you an idea here. Skeet Surfing, okay, based on, first of all, Surfing USA. You can hear part of that in there. Fun, 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 Little Honda, California Girls, and also the last one here is Hawaii. So the first song, the opening title, and it's got pieces inspired by 5 Brian Wilson Beach Boys songs. See what I mean? A Brian Wilson combo platter. And we're going to stay on side one right now, and we're actually going to skip. He actually does a cover of Elvis's Are You Lonesome Tonight. We're going to skip over that. But we're going to get to one of the next ones here. One of the popular tunes from Nick Rivers, the character, How Silly Can You Get?
Put a little rock in a
So we mentioned the first song was inspired by songs. The second one's the second one was its cover, Are You Lonesome Tonight, that we didn't do. Then it was How Silly That Can You Get that we just heard. After that, Straighten Out the Rug. And then the next one, which also is a cover for all you Little Richard fans in the house, this one's Tutti Frutti.
Got a girl named Sue. She knows just what to do. She knows how to love me, yes indeed. Oh boy, you don't know what she do to me. To the fruity, oh Rudy. 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 Oh wop babaloo bam bam bamboo.
And while he's doing the movie, he's doing, obviously the songs were recorded ahead of time, but he does a great job lip syncing. And the dance moves, there's a scene where he's on a chair, and like here's the chair. Let's see here. Trying to make this so it doesn't look like I'm making an obscene gesture, but say this is the chair. He jumps on it, and as it's going over, he goes right on the floor. I mean, it's a terrific, terrific scene. And he shows a lot of physical ability in the dance moves that he does as the American pop idol, Nick Rivers. So now we're going to get to the last track on side one. And this is one that is not only done in the film when Nick Rivers is doing a live performance, but during the credits, they do another version of him with just him and his background singers. This one, more of a ballad, Spend This Night With Me.
You will always be a love that's true to me. You set my heart on fire. It's burning with desire. Your touch, your lips, your soul. You make me lose control, baby, please. Baby, please, baby, please. Spend this night with me.
And now we'll go to side B, which is actually the side of the, well, quote-unquote, scene selections by Maurice Jarre. And it starts off with Top Secret, and then Love and Resistance, Tango of the Things Unsaid, Medals and Imprisonment. Now we're going to do something from one of the action scenes here. It's the Potato Farm Siege. Music from one of the action sequences in the film Top Secret. It's the Potato Farm Siege. And you can see really where adding a composer with some real gravitas adds to your movie. It was like when people thought John Landis was crazy for hiring Elmer Bernstein, then a legendary director, conductor I should say, to do the music for his film Animal House. And people are like, what are you doing? You know, he's too serious for that. But the serious music enhances the comedy of the movie. And in fact, Elmer Bernstein was later used by the Zucker brothers and Jim Abrahams when they did the Airplane movie. The first Airplane movie, that music was Elmer Bernstein. So once again, just a great kind of counterpoint where you've got the serious, intense music, but you've got the really funny wild madcap stuff going on the other side. And we're going to go to another one here, and that's actually, this is going to wrap up the soundtrack here. After the big fight, and I was going to put that in originally, but it's like, we just did an action scene with the Potato Farm Siege. Let's get to one of the sub-themes, the romantic sub-theme here, and it comes into play here in the final song here, The Happy Ending. And it's a beautiful piece of music here. Let's check out it. Happy Ending. So there you go. It's one half film score and one half teen idol pop sensation. And once again, Val Kilmer doing the singing. No dubbing, no substitutes. That's Val Kilmer doing singing. And later on, by the way, in another one of his movies when he played Jim Morrison in the film The Doors, he also handled his own singing and actually trained himself a little bit so he could do a better job tackling Morrison's vocals. So, I mean, the guy could act. The guy was a terrific performer, but he also sang. And this is one I've wanted for a while. When I first saw that this was coming out, I was like, this is the one. I love the movie. I love the music. I would love to have this. Obviously, a few weeks ago when it was announced that Val Kilmer had passed away, even more so, it's like, yeah, we got to get this, because this goes back to, I mean, I saw him in Top Gun Maverick, but I also saw, I don't know if you've seen the documentary Val, But he was in pretty rough shape there. So really, this is one of the ways where people want to see him again. Obviously, a lot of people are going to think of Iceman, but this is one of those ones where he's doing his thing, he's acting, he's hilarious, he's singing, he's dancing, he's just doing the whole thing. He's just absolutely just all out entertaining everybody. And so that's the third record. And once again, I mentioned they have the holy grail of my record store day traveling. This is the original soundtrack to the film Top Secret. So this is what we found today. This is a review of what we got for Record Store Day. And I'd like to at some point show some of the stuff I've gotten from previous Record Store Days. We'll have to do that in another episode of Goin Vinyl. But right now, let's wrap things up. Let's go back to our man on the street.
That's all the time we have today for our special record store edition of Goin Vinyl. Don't forget to join us for our next episode, in which we'll bring you more grooviness from the land where the platters still matter and the records still rock. Till then, I'm your host, Bill Robert. Thank you so much for Goin Vinyl with us.